Some games of Runeterra, huh? Alright, so we've got good morning, virtual realism. I've been loving the variety content. I live in the UK, so it's late for me, but I've been keeping up via YouTube. Awesome. I'm really glad you enjoy it, and thanks for the Prime support. It's awesome to see a lot of the regulars that have here that have been liking the new stuff. It's awesome. I've really been enjoying the new stuff, so thanks for keeping me around. Braum Tarek today. So Braum is a card that got a little bit of a buff, and then they dialed him back again because his buff was a little bit too strong. And this is his current iteration, 0-5 for 4. Has regeneration here, so he fully heals at the end of each round. Has challenger, so he can make things block him. The first time he survives damage, he summons a Mighty Poro, 3-3 with Overwhelm. And then he levels up when he survived 10 total damage. So previously, when he was strong enough to warrant a nerf, Braum had a point of power. So I actually think this deck is a really sweet way to approach Braum, because giving Braum's points of power is very good because it's very powerful with his challenger mechanic here. So this deck has Zenith Blade as a way to give Braum power. It's got Mentor of the Stones as a way to give Braum power permanently. It's got the newly upgraded Bastion as a way to protect Braum from spells, as well as to give it a permanent point of power. So we've got a lot of really great tools here to pair with Braum. We have Tarek as our second champion here, 2-4 for 4. That when it supports, meaning it gives the ally next to it a buff during combat, it gives its supported ally tough, and it copies the last spell that you cast on Tarek onto the supported ally. So for example, if you Bastion your Tarek, he's going to recast that Bastion onto the thing next to him. Speaking of other ways to give power, we've got Starlit Seer here as a way to potentially get a very, very large Braum. We've got some other miscellaneous things like Mountain Goat to create gems that can give Braum power. So I like the look a lot of what this is doing. I've talked about how I think Flash Freeze is very good right now. So Flash Freeze is 3 copies. We've got some Hushes. My one concern when looking at this deck is that I am uncertain on the unit count. We have 18 plus... actually, this 18 includes the 6 champions, right? So, like, about half of our deck is units. I'm a little bit worried we might be on the low side of an appropriate unit count for this deck. I could definitely see trying to fit in some more cheap gem-based cards. Like, I think if we're low on units overall, getting Mountain Goat up to a 3 of could be good. What's her name? The Gift Giver could be a good one drop. There is one cheeky copy of Grandfather Ramuel down here at the bottom. On play, grants 2 allies +4 defense. So let's go ahead and dive on into a few games with this. Definitely the threat density is the number one thing I am potentially worried about as we dive into it. This was a viewer submission card for card, so I've not edited anything in it. So we're starting card for card with what Erdian has sent in. Here's my contribution to full-time Runeterra. Don't want to get sappy, but your streams are a daily part of my routine, and thanks for helping me through tough times. I really appreciate the 2 months, Blake. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around, and I'm glad you're enjoying the new stuff. I really am too. Hopefully full-time Runeterra can become the norm here. Yeah, Stalking Wolf's an interesting one. So this is a 3-2 challenger for 2. That when it comes into play, it creates a snow hare. This card's actually super reasonable with your different buffs and things that give healing, like occasionally gems and things like that. So I'm interested to see how this feels when it plays out. This opponent is playing Trundle Tryndamere here. So I think I want to just get pressuring them. Yeah, big vibes to like the hunted style cards for sure. How's the audio balance this morning, by the way? I was screwing with some settings again. And I listened to a playback and it sounded okay. Nobody's complained yet this morning, so I assume it's alright, but I figured I'd double check. Seems fine. Okay. I need to do a little bit of research. I think I'm gonna pick up an actual high quality microphone as opposed to just this USB one that I've been using for a while. That's unfortunate. Really wanted that that 3-2 to be able to kill this with the Grant buff on here. Yeah, I have the $100 Blue Yeti microphone, not the Snowballs, the cheaper one. I have the bullet shaped one. I think I'd like to get something that's a little bit more professional overall.
The trolls are going to war! Celestial! Have you met my shield?
Brittle Steel isn't going to have a ton of text in this matchup, so I'm just going to go ahead and burn it here to keep this alive to hopefully get another Grant on my Braum down the line. So Braum's taking 4 damage here, and again, granting Braum bonuses is really powerful because he has the regenerate mechanic. So unlike a lot of Runeterra cards, he's going to go ahead and recover at the end of each turn, which is a big deal. Do you feel like Ramp in Runeterra is at an appropriate power level? I'm skeptical of ramp mechanics in card games. Yeah, I think so. I feel like they've done a pretty good job so far. And like these are the two like primary ramp spells in this game, right? So like this is pretty interactable. You can kill it and it takes up a spot on your board, which is a real cost. And the other one, Catalyst to the Aeons here, this costs 5 resources, right? So like if you're playing this on turn 3, and turn 3 is the earliest you can play this, you are giving up your turn 2 at the very least. Yeah, and just based on like the power level, the like approximate win rate we've seen of things, like this attack doesn't make any sense, right? Here's like giving me 4 points of free damage on my Braum.
Here beyond!
Do I want to keep this alive? I think I'm gonna save this with Troll Chant.
This would be a good winter!
I definitely don't want to burn the Bastion on it, but I think keeping this alive in order to kill the Rinding Stones here is actually pretty beneficial. So they're gonna get to level Trundle this turn, but I'll get to kill this. Actually, I guess if I do this, I level Braum, which is pretty good. And then they can't kill any of my things. Let's just level Braum here. I think Kench is a really sweet design. I think Kench is a great example of fantastic game design. It's a card that, it isn't just like a raw good card. It's like a build-around card that looks powerful in the right shell, but won't just go into everything. I also really like that Kench looks like it's a more controlling card, which means it slots into a role that, generally speaking, Bilgewater doesn't do.
Don't worry.
So it'll force Bilgewater decks to branch out a little bit, which is neat.
I smell a fight!
Yeah, I think Kench is really good game design and probably playable.
Smashing!
Did I actually sleep? I did. I did sleep for a tiny bit. Did they just give that plus 10? Are you kidding me? Alright, well, we're gonna Bastion this.
The fight never ends.
I think we're just going to... plus 5, sure. I think we're just going to, 12 here. Yeah, Kench got spoiled. I think we've died, chat. I think we've died. It is a large troll. Welcome to Twitch chat. Oh, I should have done this, right? I'm gonna find a flat. Fuck! Oh, chat. Alright, I'm done. I'm gonna shame concede. Damn it. I guess it's not strictly wrong. It's like I wanted to heal 4. I definitely should have done that in response though. I forgot we had two flash freeze and 2 hush. Yeah, that was wrong. I think I should have given up the EV on the life and should have done for it. But Angel, thank you for the 23 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, we had 2 redraws. It's not even about being lucky too. Like we had 2 redraws. And like the odds of us hitting one of our 5 outs there, because we had 3 flash freeze and 2 hushes that were out. Definitely just wrong to not go for it there. That's fine. In the words of the greatest poet of our generation, chat, you just gotta shake it off and move along to the next one. Great trade here. Get to go 1 for 1 and make a gem. Huh?
We see through all.
I'm gonna offer this trade.
No one's the wiser.
With the new schedule, I'm never really sure when you're on. I just open up Twitch and get lucky. So I went live about 20 minutes ago, Aquaquill, and I'll be live for the next 3 hours, about a little bit less than that. And then I will be live again 10 hours from now. And actually, if you go to the info section on my Twitch page, there is a schedule there that actually shows you X hours until I'll be live again. Is a good way to see it too. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna Pale Cascade this, and then we'll put this here.
An auspicious season.
Thank you for the camera, Tipsy.
What's that noise?
Alright, up to 6 resources total here. I definitely need to just play to the board, right?
Don't worry, I am here.
I don't think I want to trade this for any of their things, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass here. We really need to find Guiding Touch at this point. Opponent's gone pretty wide. We need some life to stabilize. Yeah, there were things that were happening while we were camping, but it still felt kind of awkward. Needed you a lot earlier, friendo.
I salute you.
Well, they didn't open on attacks, but they also played a 7-6, so 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. I can play Braum here, but then I can only Bastion. Yes, Avalanche is good against the Spider Bird deck. You are correct.
Lost in reflection? Braum is on the job. If I fall, so be it. Does not ruffle our feathers. Help is on the way.
Yep. We're in range of a lot right now. We don't have better plays though.
Protect.
These are the lines. The lines we're scripted to make at this point. When Runeterra has proper tournament support, we will definitely be doing Hoaglandia Runeterra stuff.
That egg.
That has always been on my plans for reference.
No. Show me your best.
So, dead to a lot, but gonna do what we can here. No, Juka.
I have my orders.
In fact, the need to implement custom ban list stuff is also why I kind of decided to scale back on doing Magic stuff too. Like, it just shouldn't be my job as a player to make Wizards formats playable. They should just manage their formats in a way that like makes people excited to play them.
We'll do better.
And I really, yeah, I was like doing some reflection of the amount of time and effort we were putting into it, and I just, yeah. Opponent's username is lands are annoying. You're not wrong, friend. You're not strong. Big mood. So full mulliganing there because I want to try and dig for threats in my opening hand, and we had four spells. We are rewarded by finding 2 threats. Opponent's playing Nocturne Diana here, so looks like Nightfall aggro.
Rise. They forced us to choose death or the grave.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about this card. I guess with effects like this, it's probably pretty good. We'll see if they open on attacks here or not. Hopefully they like Night Petal and Diana, and then we get to blow Diana out with the Troll Chant. Would love to be able to deploy this before we get to before they attack as well.
Temperamental as moonlight.
Darkness.
It's a pretty unfortunate one, because now they get to hook it with that and deal a bunch of damage. Maybe they get greedy and hook it with one of these instead, and my Troll Chant works. Yeah, Sentry could be an okay replacement. More things that make gems could also be decent decisions. I don't know. So, like, again, for people that are new to the channel, I do a lot of viewer-submitted content here. And I like to generally try and play some games and get a feel for something. Usually if somebody's submitting something, they've played some games with it and they have reasons for their cards. So we'll play 3 or 4 games with it and see if we see something that we didn't see to start.
Blessed by snow and stars.
For example, yesterday we had Ye Be Warned in the Miss Ash deck, and that card ended up actually being very good by the end of it all. I'm just gonna go ahead and open on attacks here. See if we get to kill this. If they have a deal one here, I have a Pale Cast. I have a Guiding Touch to heal this, which is nice. Yeah, Ye Be Warned in conjunction with Ash specifically was very, very good yesterday. Alright, so I assume they're about to... Hopefully they have Unspeakable Horrors and not Pale Cascade. They definitely play both of those cards. They're a Nightfall deck. So, Unspeakable Horror would attempt to deal 1, which I can heal and blow them out.
We will resist.
Yeah, it's basically... I changed a couple of other things, but it's basically a one-to-one swap, Hank. Well, this works out quite well.
An auspicious season.
Afternoon, Hooker. Thanks for the half of your support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. But yeah, the person who submitted that deck basically asked me to replace Johnny with Trundle in that shell.
This would be a good winter.
I think we just play another Zenith Blade here, right? Just like, make sure they don't have decent attacks this turn. I don't get another Zenith Blade with this, obviously, but that's fine. Bah! Bah!
Gems are superb. Bad for the teeth, though.
Bad for the teeth, though.
Celestial power.
I'm gonna attack like this. I assume they're gonna try and trade while Guiding Touch to keep this alive.
Blessed by snow and stars.
I want to play Mountain Goat here. It's a nice thick blocker.
Who goes there?
Who goes there? Opponent gained a lot of life back here with their Doom Beast and friends. Baldur's Gate was a lot of fun, Groovy Mule. Yeah, we had I scheduled my variety segments are scheduled as 3 hours, and I ended up doing 6. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to say the least.
An auspicious season.
Guiding Touch is so good. Brittle Steel, excellent against Nocturne, by the way. I guess until he levels, he just turned into 6 when he levels, right? Alright, am I opening on attacks here? It's a tough choice. Hey, Bezero, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I really appreciate that. This is my full-time job, and I wouldn't be here without the support of folks like you. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate the Bezo bucks. So again, if I add things to the board, my opponent, I can attack with them this turn, But if I add things to the board, my opponent also gets to add things to the board. I think I kind of just want to open on smashing here. This has Overwhelm. It's getting bigger. If they want to try and trade here, they can, and then we get them with Brittle Steel. I think we just do this and smash. I don't think Starlit Seer is necessarily broken. I think it's just a good card. Just generically strong. Runeterra only has 2 regions and 4 champions. Well, on this channel we play a lot of different things. Usually 2 different brews per day. News of Runeterra's limitations has been greatly exaggerated. The Blevins, thank you for the 3/4 of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Morning, Zeros.
You left your soldiers to die. That was a lifetime ago.
Sure, you're all shiny and majestic, but can you float?
I could certainly try.
So we've got 1, 2 things that can block Fearsome at the moment, but we also have Hush to wipe that off, so I think we're in too much danger. Opponent's archetype does have a little bit of reach, but not a ton. 8's a pretty comfortable life total. It's not like we're about to get decimated out of the game. There's a little bit of that reach there. That Doom Beast with the, Oh, you know what? I should have, I probably should have gemmed to get another Fearsome blocker, huh? Could have Hush Knock to prevent his level up. Why does his level up matter? Oh, his level up gives everything Fearsome. Right, that's why his level up matters. So it doesn't, right? I can just Hush him now.
This will be a good winter. Let's not ruffle our feathers. The mountain endures.
Loop-de-loop. I'm too airborne.
Lost in reflection. Blessed by snow and stars.
Hey, Gunther, thanks for the 15 months. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Dollar bills, y'all. They are bad for the teeth, though.
Only a fool would enter battle unprepared.
Unit. Well, and like, that's a unit, but it's not a unit that gets to be lethal this turn, right? Because it makes the stupid hair.
Sharp. To protect all. There is nowhere
Their Shadow Isles, I should probably use one more gem there to make these unkillable.
I will be free.
Ours is the one true light.
Maybe I'm supposed to play this pre-combat just to eat the 1/1.
Invisible to the ignorant.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. They've got 2 gems up here now. So I'm going to 2 here, so I'm actually just dead. Oh, I can stop this with Troll Chant for a turn. We're in a favored spot so far. Our opponent's definitely not just out of it. They can have decent draws, but okay, that's a great pickup here too. Just basically trying not to get burned out. If we don't get burned out, we're in a very good spot.
Whatever the cost.
Do I want to do this? I don't think so. I think I want to use this on Tarek next turn, so that way we get to draw an extra card.
Unyielding.
Feels like your concerns about units are reasonable. I don't know about that, strictly. I feel like we would have. I feel like this game tells me more about these stalking wolves than anything. Like, had these stalking wolves been like literally any other unit in the game that didn't give my opponent a blocker, we would have killed them this game, right? So like this is definitely on stalking wolf here if we lose this game. That should hopefully mean we're not gonna lose. I think Hush seals it. I think that game was enough to talk me off the Stalking Wolf.
These gems aren't just for show.
I think the thing I need to decide is this Stalking Wolf slot supposed to be a challenger unit, or is it supposed to be a 2-drop? Mountain Goat's a card that's been pretty impressive since it got its second point of power. I think I'm gonna go up a Mountain Goat. And yeah, I think the people talking about Frostbite Wolf, Rhyme Fang are probably fine. I'm gonna go to 2 Rhyme Fang and a 3rd Goat. See how that goes. What about the elusive Nightfall? We're really not good at enabling Nightfall early. Feels like something we have to do. Demacia, Shadow Isles, Elise Nocturne. Interesting. So a bit of a brew here. Maybe they're just playing Nocturne in We've seen a build Shadow Isle Demacia with Elise and Lucian. Definitely mulliganing these two, I think. Troll Chant sounds fine against something that's likely aggressive. Braum sounds stellar. None of these are the cheaper cards I'm looking for here. Really want like a good 2-drop. It's very possible we want some copies of Everson Sentry in this deck. It's just a good proactive 2 we don't mind trading off early.
I don't bite.
Could be the Undying deck. Okay. Yeah, I've seen some of that.
Looking into the future, I see
Purple.
We
Purple.
could use a bite.
I think I just take this hit here, and then we Braum. I want to save Troll Chant to protect this from a deal 1 next turn. Because if I get to grant 2/2 onto Braum, he should completely take over this board. Especially with Bastion to protect it.
celestial.
We should be friends.
I think I'm gonna save this.
It is easy, see?
Yeah, I expect both of the next 2 card drops to include Nightfall cards. I think it's probably a very reasonable expectation.
You won't suffer long.
Help is underway.
Man, going to 6 is super low. Do I Troll Chant to gain 2?
Left for a snack?
Think so. I guess I could put this here,
Braum.
and then I take slightly less. They have Reach, they have Doom Beast, and they have Rally. So kinda. I'm gonna keep this alive for 1 more turn. There's 7.
Enter, traveler, and stop staring. Whee! No,
Have you met my shield? Show me your best.
I think we do this. This is gonna level Braum, obviously, and then this will, this lets me have another thing that can block Fearsome units next turn, which is nice. These gems are okay for us as well. Braum's very good in general. Like, being able to give Braum permanent points of power is a really big deal. Like, there's a reason why they buffed his baseline to have 1 power and then had to nerf him back to 0. I feel like we might have too much clunky top end. Like, these Blessing of the Chargans, for instance, and, Blessing of the Target and like Grandfather or Manual or whatever the 8-drop is. Like, I feel like I just need more things that drag my curve down. Like, imagine if these were like units on this board. Like, we're just behind because I can't play to the board to keep up with what our opponent's doing. Yeah, like, yeah, we're just dead. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the curve out of this deck. I think we're light on units, and I think our curve's a little bit too chunky. I think Braum's the good thing that we want to be doing. I want more Braum. I want to lean into the Braum. There's definitely a lot of aggression on the ladder. These pieces at our top end definitely do not feel stellar. I want some more cheap things to curve out with. And that's 3 slots. I think it's just Gem Giver or Gift Giver. That's probably what I want. This is another thing that generates a cheap spell that works well with Starlit Seer and Braum. It plays to the board and blocks well. I think that makes a lot of sense. Think about new champs in the Landmark. I think the Landmark card type has a lot of potential if they do it right. I think the first Kench seems sweet. Yeah, it helps level Tarek as well. It's like taking our curve and dragging it down in a nice way. That seems fine to start. Let's start there. Omen Hawk could be okay. Yeah, I could see Omen Hawk. I don't think Hearthguard really solves our problems. I guess it's a threat. It's just like we don't have a lot of card draw to draw into the things that is pumping up. I liked that Gift Giver synergizes with both Tarek and our... There's a danger when cutting spells that we then no longer have enough spells to enable our 2-drop that pumps things. Opponent is playing Trundle, Orion, Sol, Sajani, so Freljord, Targan, probably ramp control.
For those who need it.
Really decent curve here. Gift Giver into Goat. Yeah, Sentry can be a consideration still too. It's definitely a card that feels like it should be on the list to test.
Thought me smell some.
This is my Goat. Block. Tradesies.
There you are.
Deal. I think we just bank spell mana here. And then we get to play out a Tarek with Bastion up.
These are troll lands.
And now we play out Braum, so that way their Trundle can't attack. Now, I think Flash Freeze in general is a very, very good spell in this format, and I don't think I'd want to cut Flash Freeze from my deck. I think that effect is super potent.
I am truly honored, Protector.
You honor me with every blessing you give.
Just gonna draw a couple cards here.
To protect, good luck. Have fun.
Unyielding.
Sure. Sure, I don't want to gut what this deck is doing, Leprechaun, and like change the archetype, but I would like to try and minimize and maximize efficiency within the archetype that we're choosing to play. So, we're not gonna like gut the deck and just say, okay, play this other tier 1 deck instead, but like trying to figure out, okay, what cards work well in this archetype, and then work around that is what I'm looking to do. That is fine, right? Not fine, but we'll survive.
We see through all. I'll knock 'em dead.
Am I jumping here? I think so.
You spurn my gift?
I think so. I guess I could take the hit and just burn some of these guiding touches. I don't really have anything to do with my mana this turn. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that.
An auspicious season.
That's a good draw. Okay, so what are we doing? I can gem Braum twice, Bastion here, attack, put Bastion onto here, have Braum hook this, kill it, flash freeze this. I have 8 total mana. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 8. Yeah, I think that's the play.
Lost in reflection?
These gems grant awareness and harmony.
Blessed by snow and stars. This would be a good winter. Blessed by snow and stars. Vermin, show me your best.
The fight never ends. To preserve beauty and protect all life.
Yeah, Rhyme looking good here. Hush to save their Trundle feels a little bit bad, but it's not the end of the world. Means they don't get to level Trundle this turn at least.
Leave your bags in the door.
That's true. Him not healing this turn means he can't attack with the next turn, which is nice. Because I Bastioned Tarek, Waffle, Tarek only casts the last spell cast on him. He doesn't recast every spell cast on him.
Left for a snack? This would be a good winter.
Yeah, I don't know that we're going to be able to get over this. Everything they have having +2/+2. Yeah, dial up. Dial up drag will do it. Ramping almost got us out of that there. Hush coming in clutch for the opponent to wipe the frostbite off them. Why is it dial up dragon? Listen, go back and listen to the sound effect. Listen to the sound effect it makes when it comes into play. Sajani, Trundle, Freljord, Noxious. This might be something similar to what we're going to be playing coming up next year, actually. I'm going to mulligan the Brittle Steel, keep the rest of these. Decent 2, 3, 4 curve.
Explosives prime. They'll never see it coming.
Okay, not like the deck we're going to be playing next. Looks like a little bit lower curve overall. Our 2, 3 for 2 looking good here.
We see through all. Coming in hot.
I don't think I want to trade these here.
In position.
Let's not ruffle our feathers.
Gotta call it Dubstep Dragon for a second. It's fair. Fair. Kids these days.
These jewels are more than mere trinkets.
Their deck is an interesting mix of things. They've got low curve stuff to start, and now this is a Rinding Stones here. Yeah, and aggro with Rinding Stones is interesting.
How can Braum help?
How can Braum help?
Shield is my soul. Good luck. Have fun. We should be friends. Death doesn't scare me.
I mean, they could just be trying to get to Sajani and Trundle. Trundle had a curve. I'm not doing anything related to Magic, King Eddie. Everybody who has Magic decks in my deck queue waiting to be played has been offered a refund or to exchange it for something else. For content that I'm still currently doing. If I'm being completely honest, if I'm able to keep doing content as my job without playing Magic, I don't intend to go back to playing Magic after this month.
Cost.
Yeah, like, Braum died there, but he, like, traded with 2 of their cards, and he made a 3-3.
Fly away while you can.
I think I just take this trade here. Yeah, maybe I want to keep this around for its ability. I'll trade the Boro at this point. Why? Because Magic Arena has an incredibly predatory monetization model, and Wizards of the Coast is very bad at communicating with their player base and managing their game, in my opinion. I feel like I'm in a toxic relationship with them. Playing their game doesn't make me feel happy. And life's short, and you should play games that make you happy.
Smell that, Varg? Fear.
It's another ramp card. I wonder if they have things that curve above these based on these ramp cards.
Looking into the future, I see.
Could be Therons. Yeah, that's a good observation. That's a really big, like, kind of expensive card. War Mother's Call. War Mother's Call seems very unlikely in their deck full of, like, 1 and 2 drops. I think I want to just gem Braum here and then attack and grant him +2/+2 to eat the Wolf Rider. What Monicus, thank you for the 23 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. How was Baldur's Gate last night? Well, we ended up playing for 6 hours, which is twice as long as I had intended to play, so you could probably say it was great. I think Captain Farron's probably a good read. That seems like a very reasonable card for the opponent's archetype to be playing. The card that fetches Sejani. Yeah, Sejani's boat type card could be a reasonable inclusion too.
This would be a good winter. It is easy, see?
I'm uncertain, Blue Shoes. I need to sit down and rework shillings in general on the channel to account for variety stuff. I'm gonna be implementing a system where subs get to vote on which games we continue playthroughs for each week in the variety segments in the evening, and I'm gonna integrate shillings into those. So I need to figure out exactly what I want to do with Shillionaire and stuff like that.
Our banner will lead the way.
Fade and be gone.
Wow, did they just end the turn? Excuse me? Well?
These gems grant a wearer harmony.
Blessed by snow and stars. This will be a good winter. An auspicious season.
This is fun, yes?
Blessed by snow and stars.
Well, so I actually don't want Tarek to level this turn because I want this to take damage and level. And if Tarek levels there, he stops Braum from leveling. Which is awkward if I want him to be able to put Spell Shield onto here. We could get burned out. If they're a Captain Fair on deck, we could die here. They could Fair and Decimate. Wow, they are a War Mother's Call deck. What a strange concoction.
The winter's claw strikes.
I definitely was not expecting that as top end with what they've played so far.
But can you float?
I could certainly try.
Jeff, I originally came to you for modern content and plan to stay for any content because I find the channel to be fun and engaging. I really appreciate that, Tunduin. It's good to have you around.
Eyes to me.
I'm hoping I can encourage a little bit higher than average engagement on my next sub survey. Usually I have about 40% of my subs fill it out in the past, but when I have my survey later this month, I'm gonna point blank ask folks if they plan to drop their subs if I don't go back to Magic next month. We'll see. Well, I mean, I feel like my champions here might actually be able to attack through all this, huh? Shop S Mart, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Oglandia. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, what the heck are we doing in combat here? I obviously need to start getting their board in check. Is it right? I think it's right to gift giver, so that way I can play a gem to level Tarek before I attack, so that way he can make things invulnerable. I think it's something I have to do here.
Of our world.
Each is made in your name, Protector.
I'm gonna make a U-sickle. It's good to be the king.
Yeah, I agree that we need to start trading stuff off.
They say these were from the Protector himself.
To preserve beauty and protect all life.
An auspicious season.
Oh, I could have mentored before Tarek. Yeah, that's a good call. I don't know, having an extra gem here is not the end of the world. So this is gonna go up to a 7-11.
Good luck. Have fun.
Let's put this here. Let's hook their ice pillar so they can't control the board. Attack like this.
Sapphire, gem of our divine patron.
What's going on, Swap? I appreciate the 5 months. Welcome back. Wow. Okay, yeah. I mean, alright. Leveled Braum, leveled Tarek. Greater than War Mother's Call on that deck. Yeah, like I said, War Mother's feels like if my opponent's War Mother's Call that game had been a Captain Pharaon, they would have killed us, right? I actually think their deck seems really sweet, but I wouldn't want War Mothers at the top end. I would just want Captain to kill my opponent. Like, I was at 12, their Captain would have literally just burned us out from 12. Would have made triple decimate, we would have died. They don't need the stones. Maybe. I mean, the stones and the riders seem fine with Captain at your top end. I don't hate the ramp stuff if they're doing something more aggressive with it. It's basically the TLDR of how I feel about the... And who knows, maybe they have War Mothers in addition to Captain. We didn't see their entire deck. It's very possible that they're playing Pharaon. Like, it's hard to really know with only seeing some of the pieces, right? Alright, Misfortune Gangplank here. I'm definitely mulliganing these two. I think we're mulliganing this too. I'm looking for more cheap defensive threats here when we're playing against Pirate Aggro. I think I'm keeping Troll Chant because it's a good combat trick here.
A little luck for those who need it. Remember my words.
Fuse is lit.
Fuse is lit. Treesies?
Victory at any cost.
Is it crazy to just... I'm gonna start by attacking.
Leave the bar.
I'm gonna attack for 1 and see what they do. They might tap out to play a unit afterwards. And then I think if they tap off of the ability to kill this, I'm going to...
Stink of blood and sweat.
I think I just want to make this a 2/4. They could theoretically have like the deal 3 to their thing, deal 3 to mine, but that doesn't seem like a good exchange for them. I think I just want to like grow this up since it's my one threat here. It makes things like Guiding Touch better down the line. It makes these gems a little bit better too. Really feeling the low unit count here a little bit. Definitely hoping to find some more of those.
Blast them.
The dead don't need riches.
Protector, shield me!
Sapphire, gem of our divine patron.
She's got some gifts, chat. Yeah, this is actually good for us, I think. Like, the fact that their best play this turn is just, like, spend 5 mana to not add stuff to the board, I think bodes well for us overall.
Be brave.
My boat, my rules. This will be a good winter. I promised a bloodbath.
Gotta go with the flow.
Meh.
Let's do this.
I think I'm using this to gain 2.
An auspicious season.
Hey, Springs Bugs, thanks for the 13 months. Really appreciate it. Welcome back. I'm glad you're enjoying the Runeterra stuff. I am too. Game's a lot of fun.
Mystical levitation requires concentration.
No use trying.
Think we're opening on attacks with everything next turn. We'll probably mentor onto here. I guess I could mentor onto here, and then Pale Cascade lets me beat any of these. Yeah, that's probably fine, actually, right?
Naughty crystals.
Again, this grant is a permanent buff. This is a 4/5 for keeps.
Your path ends here.
Don't you dare run.
Unfortunately, a little bit shy here of being able to kill Jack. Yeah, I assume we're gonna be dead here. This does 3, this does 4, so we're at a virtual 4. Contract! Thank you for the 10 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back.
Blessed by snow and stars. Fighting's a bloody business.
Yeah, gems with both Seer and Braum have felt good. I feel like the part of this deck I'm most uncertain on is I'm not sure the Tarek portion of this deck is good.
An auspicious
Like I like the gems with both Seer and Braum, but Tarek's been a little underwhelming. I kind of feel like I would like something more interactive. I mean, the odds of them not having another unit are just like basically zero. Time Lord, they have so many cards in their hand.
my complete.
So I think it mostly just doesn't matter.
This would be a good winter.
Yeah, Tarek in general is just a little underwhelming, I think. And part of his problem is like Tarek isn't, because we're dead. It doesn't matter. Just waiting for them to click through what they're doing. Ash could be a champion if I prop in this deck. I don't think so. So I was thinking something like Sajani, for example. Like looking at these games where we're playing, like I want something that allows me to be more interactive. I feel like a lot of what we have going on is super linear, and I just need ways to like keep my opponent's board in check a little bit better. Like what we have going on overall, like Tarek's just too linear. He's good at making our things that are good better when we're ahead, but like this deck just doesn't play from behind too much, right? We cut the 2-cost Challenger that helps us. It doesn't keep the board in check though, innuendo, and I replaced those with Rhymefang Wolf, which arguably this helps you keep the board in check better than the 2-drop that we cut. We just have a lot of cards in the deck right now that explicitly power up. We have a lot of things in the deck right now that explicitly interact with our own things, and when the couple of things that we have don't interact with what the opponent has going on, it doesn't feel particularly good. I almost feel like maybe we're overloaded on things that give Braum points of power at this point. Like, I think Zenith Blade might actually just be bad. Like, I think both Mentor of the Stones and the Gem Givers are probably better than Zenith Blade. I don't think Stalking Wolf is playable. Gift Giver has been really good. I don't think Stalking Wolf is playable. I think I want to do this, and like what are our other champions? What are our champions that allow us to be interactive? Someone mentioned Anivia. She's just really, really slow. Harsh Winds doesn't solve problems. Again, like, think about those games that we're playing and look at what's happening and what's killing us and how we're dying. We're not losing close races. Harsh Wind's a card that helps you win races that are occurring, and we're not even in races to begin with. We're just sitting there with a bunch of cheap cards in our hand that target our stuff and don't interact with what the opponent's doing. I don't really want to run Avalanche in my deck full of things that have cheap units. Yeah, Trundle could be okay. Sajani could be okay. Yeah, he is very, very slow. I kind of just want to play. Yeah, Sajani has Overwhelm baked in, which is decent with our gems. Diana could be okay. I don't know. I don't think Diana is quite good enough when you're not leveling her, and I don't think I want to go into a full... I don't think I want to do like a full Nightfall sub-theme. Like, I don't think just Diana and Pale Cascade are enough. I think I'd rather try Sajani at the top end. Invoke could be okay. Okay, so Invoke, Solari Priestess is another card that, like, one of the concerns is, do we keep enough spells to work well with Starlit Seer, because Starlit Seer's been good, and Solari Priestess is a card that kind of fills that role. I don't hate that. This is also an additional piece of interaction. My curve's not super embarrassing. Let's play. Let's rename it to Braum Gems. Let's play a game or two with this before we move on to some Ash Strundle. So, I'm not going to give a second before timing people out that decide to not type things out. In the future, just type out your suggestion. I know in Twitch, there's this twitchy thing where people want to hit enter after every sentence they type, but I promise, just like you did there, you're capable of writing a full thought. I would rather someone complete a full thought and explain themselves and be a little bit behind where we were at, rather than just type a sentence every time. Just write, please just write a full thought. And honestly, actually, someone said maybe more Braum is it? What? Actually, we added Sajani. What if we just play Entreat? What if we're just like a 12 Braum deck? Because this can get written in the stars for Braum too. That actually might be the direction you want to go. All right, yeah, never mind. Oh, I'm gonna concede this game. I'm gonna cut the Johnnies. Let's do that. Let's do that. I don't care about my rank. It can all get set on fire. I wish I would have had that thought 30 seconds ago, but that's what I would like to do. Yeah, just like Braum seems like the best thing we want to be doing in this deck. And in Entreat, Braum sounds stellar, huh? This is another spell for Starlit Seer, too? I like that idea a lot. So, like, that's 6 virtual Braums, and then Solari Priestess with her 4-cost Celestial. Oh, I have Entreat filtered still. With her 4-cost Celestial, what's it called? Written in the Stars, can fetch Braum up 2, and this getting Braum and making it bigger also seems stellar. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Alright, let's do 1 or 2 with that. Getting Braum's champ spell can also be good. Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, like, we added threats, Top Hat Magic. Like, we cut Sajani for more copies of Braum. Is essentially what we did here. Like, here, look, this is Braum, right? Like, I have Braum with the Bastion in my hand. That sounds great. Meh. Opponent's playing Mono Fizz. As someone who's played Fizz a lot, Braum with power is one of the most terrifying things you can experience. Don't brittle steal me. Elixir of Fire. Technically granted my request. You know? Or if I can fit anything else in my mouth along with my foot.
Yep. I'm ready.
Nah, I think I want to just Braum plus Gem next turn.
Take heart.
We'll Gem him and Hook Fizz here.
Peace out.
We should be friends.
Build your own pre-nerf Braum, chat.
It is easy, see?
So, opponent's archetype does not have a lot of traditional reach. Bilgewater has some. So this Hush is going to be a pretty premium card here for wiping elusive off a couple other things here in a minute. I think if they attack like this, I'm just going to go ahead and take 4. And then we'll probably Solari Priestess this turn. Golden Sister is just kind of absurd here, right? She life steals and gives us an elusive.
You are safe with Braum.
So Braum's up to 6 total damage here. So we'll get to play this next turn. This will level by bumping into this. This will get to hook this and kill it. And then I have Flash Freeze the following turn to not take a hit. Guiding Touch is a good pickup as well here.
Rule the skies.
Time for talking to. Ah, this is fun, yes?
Hook Narwhal with Lifesteal. No, I think if they want to trade their 4/4 for my 4/3 here, I'm okay with that. I think this is a good trade for us, so I want to offer it to them.
Time to celebrate!
So we're at a virtual 14. We can wipe 4 power off of this. Feels like we're in a pretty good spot. Entreat, and Priestess immediately showing us that they seem reasonable. Yeah, like if they take that trade, it's kind of like getting multiple uses out of it in a way, right? Because it's like wiping off their thing. Ice, baby. Do. Nice ice, baby. Have I mentioned that Flash Freeze is really good right now? I feel like it's been a second since I've done that, and I should remind you all that it is.
Mystical levitation requires concentration.
Requires concentration. This is a permanent buff on Battle Fury here, though, so it's a little scary. Got some things to worry about there. Am I opening on attacks here? I think I'm opening on attacks, right? So I have 9 total mana. Braum's Champion spell costs 3. So this is technically a take heart. They could have flash freezes as well. Do I want to proactively Bastion my Golden Sister to gain more life here? I think I do. I think we're going to proactively Bastion her.
Celestial power.
We'll put this in front of Braum.
Left for a snack?
That's true. It does also make her trade if they want to block. So again, I'm proactively bastioning my Golden Sister here because their flash freezes and harsh winds, if they're playing them, our opponent's archetype often does, are burst, so I can't respond to them. So getting the spell shield on here proactively can allow me to stop a burst spell if they have it. Gaining life this turn is critical, so I don't die to this 12 power elusive. Unfortunately, cannot play around. Oh. The opponent's playing Mono Fizz with Entreat, I would assume. But very, very similar to Twisted Fizz.
Who goes there?
Tarek did not feel particularly good, no. We're trying out a different direction. Don't we want to take heart Braum? If anything, I think I'd want to take heart my Overwhelmed Orc here, huh?
An auspicious season. It is easy, see?
That's a very good summary of Tarek. Tarek wins games when ahead, and he loses games for most other board states. That is an accurate descriptor of Tarek in my experience. If this is a blank, we live based on the guiding touch.
Through the coral!
I'm thinning the Braum out of my deck before I do this, so this way if their last card does something, we have a better chance to draw Hush or Flash Freeze. One is not none. One is not none. One is not none. Remember, chat, if you win the game with more than one life, you didn't use all of your resources as efficiently as you could have. Them's just the facts.
This will be a good winter.
Unfortunate. Close game. Needed one more Flash Freeze or Hush there.
Feel friends.
What's currently my favorite deck? Probably Twisted Fizz or Lux Ash. You can find both of those up on my website. I think those are both decks that I enjoy. Yeah, close there at the end. I don't think there was anything we could have really done differently there. That was in fact double Battle Fury Fizz. Were all of those things elusive? They were, in fact. Flying's busted. Please nerf. Gangplank Twisted Fate. Well, look at those. Looking for 2 drops, I think. You still like Intrigue Jinx? I think Intrigue Jinx is fine. I think it's a good budget deck.
The journey is difficult. These will protect you.
It's largely why I have the recommendation of it up there.
Let's get to it.
It's fun and you could win some games with it. Yeah, that's the Jinx Intrigue deck leaves that's up on my site.
I need more hands.
Sunlight guide you, my brethren.
It's Braum.
I'll blow up the pieces.
Back, heretic. This is not the
I
way.
think I'm throwing this away to gain 5 here. Yeah, picks his extra 1 toughness there, coming in clutch for the opponent.
A little luck for those who need it.
Feels more cohesive, Dirty Digits. Like we have a game plan and we're able to execute it more consistently, being able to get to Braum more consistently. Braum's definitely the best part about what the previous deck was doing. So being able to get to Braum more consistently every game has felt good.
Falling for blood.
Yeah, there's something here in terms of Braum plus permanent buffs. Yeah, that's definitely something good. What direction exactly, still unsure. Alright, so now I'm gonna go ahead and +2, -2 here. Because it saves this, kills this, gains me 2. Seems like a good exchange. Yeah, exactly, Ghosted. It's really interesting to see, like, what happens not only because the Runeterra team can live balance cards, but also, like, because they're not pigeonholed into having to push busted cards to sell booster packs is really refreshing. Really genuinely feel like part of why they're able to have the freedom that they do is because there's not that looming over their head.
This would be a good winter.
Written in the stars, looking very good, for sure. Yeah, we'll see, Swole. There'll be people playing a lot of things. I'm sure people will be excited about all 3 of the new champions.
First we fight.
Need to try this game. It's the Runeterra team had, like, every little thing that I've wished would happen in other card games for the last decade I've played them, sidetrack, is just like, the Runeterra team just does it. Like, it's very clearly a game designed by people that were like, these are things people hate, let's do them better. I think I want to attack with these. I don't think I want a Rhyme Fang Wolf. I guess maybe I want a Rhyme Fang Wolf here. Nah, I'm going to hold up Guiding Touch so Braum doesn't die by mistake here. If they have some burn spells, I want to be able to heal Braum with Guiding Touch. That's pretty good. So they're gonna try and burn me out from here. So, I think Mythgard's core gameplay is really good, Leebs. They're just a small indie product, and their client doesn't have the polish that Runeterra has. It also doesn't have the big IP that Runeterra has, and if I'm being honest, it feels bad to deal with the economies like Hearthstone and Arena and Mythgard have after experiencing Runeterra. Like, it's so refreshing to have a game that I really love and want to play and promote on stream that, like, also just doesn't treat their customers like human ATM machines. Like, it's nice to be able to say, someone asked me, Jeff, how much does this deck cost to buy and play? And I could just be like, this deck costs X dollars. I know, you know exactly how much it costs because there's no gambling involved. Like, all other things about Runeterra's gameplay aside, because, like, all the gameplay has been really fantastic. Just how they treat me as a customer and how I feel they view me as a person. And, like, don't get me wrong, like, Riot's a company that's owned by other companies and has investors. They want your money. It's just the way in which they're approaching getting your money ends up being way more consumer friendly in a way that I personally greatly prefer. So, like, I understand, for the record, that none of these big companies are our friends, right? Like, their goal is to turn a profit in late-stage capitalism. But, like, the way in which they're choosing to return their profit is relevant. That matters. Man, this take card is really good. This take card is really good.
It is easy, see?
It is easy, see? Ooh, that's a Bastion. Alright, what are we doing here? Nah, so long as someone doesn't have anything blatantly, racist, xenophobic, or MAGA in their chat history, you can unban anybody who has to be unbanned, 30 digits. Those are the only reasons I don't give people second chances. Anything blatantly terrible. Which I trust the mod's judgment on average with that, I think. Alright, we're definitely attacking. This is hooking this is hooking this. If they want to trade here, I'm okay with that.
Take it up with my friends. It's yours.
Don't take out!
Well, that's a shark. Braum dodging bullets like he's in the Matrix over here when I don't really need him to. I guess I just Bastion this to use my mana for the turn. Maybe I don't. I'm gonna spend a couple of gems here. Remember, we can only bank 3 mana across turns, so there's some value in spending some of it, but we've got so many resources at this point that spewing 3 is not a big deal. It could also be right to just Guiding Touch proactively to try and draw an extra unit to put into play. I might do that here, actually, depending on what they do. If they don't open on attacks, if they, like, add another unit to the board here.
You are safe with Braum. Time to celebrate!
Well, so again, when you draw another champion, so this is another Braum, but we can't play him out because we already have a Braum in place, so he turns into his champion spell. What do decks end up costing in Hearthstone never played? It's comparable in cost to Magic Arena. When I bought into Hearthstone's four set standard format, I ended up spending about $1,200. All right, so this is dealing a lot to this. Wait, every time I survive damage, make a Mighty Poro. Alright, I'm gonna make a bunch of Poros here. This may or may not be right.
Think hard. Think strong.
This could be wrong, because, like, that could have been another Braum out of my hand. Does a deck in this game really only cost sub $50? Sub $30, Sidra. There's no random loot boxes. You buy exactly the cards you want. The most expensive card type is $3. And the most expensive card type, you can only have 6 of them per deck. So it's a hard limit on 18. $18 there. Yeah, there's control decks in Runeterra. Runeterra has a very good diversity of archetypes. Like most games, aggressive decks are a little bit more popular on the ladder, but you can play almost any style of deck and be competitive in Runeterra. There's 2 aggro decks, 2 mid-range decks, and 1 control deck up on my website on the Runeterra page. And then there's a few things of if you go to the actual tier list page too on Mobilytics, you can find stuff up there too. I can technically hush the game. We're dead, chat. Alright. Alright, so thoughts on this. I want to move along to the next deck. For people that are new, I try to change decks every 90 minutes or so. We've been going for an hour 45 with this one already. I know that we obviously just lost that last game there, but I feel like overall, this is probably the direction I would want to go in this archetype with. We started with a Braum Taric build for people that weren't here from the very beginning, and I think the summary someone had in chat of Taric is apt. Taric is good when you're ahead, and if you're not ahead, he tends to just not be good enough, and he's just not interactive. He's only good at being linear and racing, and Braum isn't a card that wants to be linear and race. Like, Braum is a card that by his nature with this challenger mechanic and gumming up the board, he's more of a control or mid-range champion. And like a lot of champions in this deck, when we build our deck around Braum, I feel like our deck is better when we have him. So focusing on Braum plus Entreat plus Solari Priestess, like, that's really good. We have lots of ways to get to Braum consistently. What are the other details in this deck? Not 100% sold on all of them. I know the gems feel really good with Braum. Bastion, both Bastion and Mentor of the Stones feel really good with Braum. But as for what the exact details of the list are, I don't know. I think there's a lot of things, a lot of different directions you could build this in. This is definitely something I wouldn't mind exploring a little bit more of in the future. All right, at any rate, we are going to shift gears, and we are going to try some Ash Trundle for the remainder of the stream. I'm just going to flip some things over really quick, get this uploaded to Mobilex. We'll be back in with some more gameplay in just a couple of minutes.